brother or friend who happens to be a cop and gets super interested. He's like, oh, interesting. How do you spell that name? And Mikey or Susie looks at him and says, Taliban, last name ISIS. I think that's at least I hope that's what happens. Allahu Akbar. Quick show of hands. Who's ever been a spokesperson for their race or their religion? No? Just me? I assume maybe me, maybe you. If you have, that's great, so I don't feel alone. The only reason I ask is I had another setup for this joke, but because of what happened at West, we were in the gym at Tipler High School wondering what was going on, and I had a student come up to me and say, have you ever been in a situation like this? And I was like, yeah, I was in high school and September 11th happened. This is kind of crazy. We all got together. We were wondering what was going on. And I remember, I immediately got shot back to that day. I was sitting in class, and all of a sudden, I started hearing, a stampede in the Pride Lands. What I call the running of the whites, coming to, run and ask me questions. What's going on? And I got questions ranging from, what do your people think about when they're doing this sort of stuff? Or do you really get 77 virgins when you blow yourself up? To my absolute favorite, do you each and all go through explosive training? Is this something that you do? And no, it's not. I'm not Muslim. I have never once been a Muslim. My father was a Muslim until he came to the States and had his first beer and bacon, and then he's no longer Muslim. It just seems like a lot of work being Muslim. You've got to pray 5 times a day, and each time that you pray, you have to, clean yourself and take a shower. You've got to give away part of your income. You have to take a trip to Mecca, which is, once again, back in the Middle East. You have to, not eat for an entire month, which sounds shitty because I like food. I shouldn't say I've never been close to being a Muslim. The closest I ever came to being Muslim was when I discovered masturbation for the first time. Because I was trying to clean up the evidence from everywhere and praying to Allah every single day that my mom wouldn't catch me. So it's the only time I've ever felt like I was Muslim. I grew up right here in Oshkosh. Yes, Oshkosh once again. Oshkosh. Yes. Yeah, son of a beautiful American mother and an Iranian-American father who has been here for almost 50 years and still pronounces it theater. He's not able to say the TH. I'll have a conversation with him and he'll be like, Sohrab, are you going to see the new Star Wars? And I was like, yeah, Dad, why? He's like, I just want to make sure that I was outside and it is very cold. You have to check the thermometer. I had a thermos that was next to me so I can drink, and I just want to make sure that you are covering your kidneys. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? And I was young. And I've had a conversation with him and my mom since, and when he was younger, he slept by an open window, and apparently it was a cold night, and he got temporary Bell's palsy. So now in his mind, he's convinced that an open window plus a cold face plus exposed kidneys equals Bell palsy. And I don't know how he made that connection, but I think it's hilarious because he's a cute little old man. Growing up, it's not that bad, except for maybe 3 things. Number one, general population just doesn't seem to know where the Middle East is or what continent it is. They just think it's its own place. So they don't know that it's in Asia. We'll come back to that joke later. Number 2, on any professional form, I actually have to fill out my race as Caucasian or white because they don't have Middle Eastern and you can't put Asian. Once again, we'll get back to that joke in a second. And number 3, people are constantly trying to not be nervous about labeling you because they don't want to offend you. And I'm Iranian American, so it doesn't seem that difficult. Iranian American or Aryan. Let's just put that together. I'm Aryan. Don't worry, we were the original Aryans. Hitler stole it. Fuck him. True story. You can look it up. Aryan actually came from my side of the world. So, yeah. So that leaves me. Okay. So let's go back into the first number 1 and number 2 thing. Is when I was younger, I wanted most kids in the 90s, I wanted the Game Boy Advance and the coolest Pogs and Slammers. So I decided to get a job, which, I'm a high school kid. I want to get a job. This is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. I studied my ass off. I did fake interviews. I was all ready. I was good to go. Nothing was going to break me down. I got to the interview. I did the interview. It was fine. It was like at an old grocery store that rhymes with pig or police, but you guys know what it is if you're here. So I went there, interview went fine, I was doing good. At the end, I was like, oh, this is great. And they said, oh, do we have one more question before we go? And I said, yeah, what's up? And they said, you put on your application, you checked other and then put Asian next to your race. And I was like, yeah, I'm half Caucasian, half Iranian. The Middle East is in Iran, which is also in Asia, so therefore I'm Asian. And they're like, oh, okay, we're just questioning because your eyes don't look slanty enough to be Asian. So don't worry, I walked out, I became a public educator, and I'm stopping that from happening again. So, but yes, this is Oshkosh in the 90s, and this is why we need to educate, because my God. I am trying to work on the maybe a little bit slantier so it doesn't happen again, but we'll see. Last thing is, who has siblings? Anybody have siblings? Woo! Yes, siblings. Everybody's got siblings. I love my siblings. I didn't always love my siblings. My sister and I have always gotten along, but my brother and I were just like absolute opposites. We just fought all the time because he has a lot of charm and charisma. He's the type of person that would have a conversation with Justin Bieber, and at the end of their conversation, Bieber would be like, I am a fucking douchebag. I need to stop being, he just has that much charisma, and it angered me. So that son of a beautiful woman always got me in a lot of trouble growing up. I don't know if you caught what I did there, but it's my mom, so I can't say son of a bitch because I love her. But he had this amazing idea when we were kids growing up one day. And he said, I've got this new game. My sister and I were outside playing soccer. He's like, let's play a rock game. And immediately I thought, this can't go well for anybody. This sounds terrible. It's like, all right, this is how it goes. Sohaila, my sister, is going to throw a rock as far as she can and then go stand right where she threw the fucking rock, right where it is. And then you're going to go next. And immediately I'm thinking, well, you son of a bitch, you planned this. And my sister's like, oh, this sounds great, because she's younger. She's like 8 or 9. She chucks her rock. She goes and stands on it. And I'm next. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. And Sohail, my brother, he's like, are you not as strong as your sister? You're not a good athlete. You're a girl. You are a pussy. You can't throw as hard as your sister. So immediately, like, my 12, 13-year-old self is like, oh, I'm going to show you, you son of a bitch. My rock is going to go a lot farther than she is, and he's playing on, like, a male chauvinistic. Once again, he's charisma. So the next thing I remember is chucking the rock and then hearing a combination of, like, blood-curdling scream from my sister to Sohail going, Mom, Sora just hit Sohail in the head with a rock, to, like, seeing red by myself, but also blood. And I just started crying, and I got in trouble, and my brother's just snickering because he came up with the greatest idea ever. So I'm saying this for a reason. I'm just like, so lay off on the Middle Easterners, because with enough convincing, we will actually stone ourselves. So you don't have to worry about it. It's perfectly fine. Last thing I have to say, for those of you playing the home game, my name is Sohrab, my brother is Sohail, and my sister is Sohaila. So we came really close to, in a world, living with a 4th child from my family being named So What. So I'm Sohrab, thanks a lot, have a good night.